Hello, humans. Master Dinnerflax here, and today I have a special guest named Jimmy Jim Johns. How are you doing?
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. So we've made a list of the top 5 best, worst, best decks of all time. I said that in the opposite order. These are decks that were in the competitive meta, but just by an ass hair didn't made it in and really didn't belong there. So hopefully you guys kind of know what I mean. They're decks that were extremely underperforming. They were very linear, easy to disrupt, and their success came from no merits of the deck itself. So let's get into it. Number 5, we have Evil Swarm. What do you got to say about that?
What I gotta say about that? It was one XZ, and it was if I don't make this, I don't exist.
Yeah, and it was also
I summon Heliotrope, unexpected die. I summon Heliotrope, or you normal summon the one that lets you normal summon again. You make it.
Caster.
That was it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it. It's literally like that. It was also hope they don't have an out for it that's a monster, because I can only search spell and trap immunity.
They did have some good Elswarm traps though. That's the only reason I put them.
The issue was they never searched the good traps. They only searched
they just searched
Pandemic.
Pandemic. Yeah.
So yeah, there's number 5. It was a good deck for the strategies that were going on at the time, but the deck was not good. It was just Ophion was a floodgate that could hurt Dragon Rulers if they didn't draw Blaster.
Exactly.
Number 4, we have Lightsworns, but not any Lightsworns. Lightsworns from 2014 during Dragon Rulers. And I only got one thing to say about the deck. When you have 12 to 13 boss monsters in your main deck, you are going to brick all the time. And that's exactly what that deck excelled at. Not by drawing boss monsters, but bricking. It would literally have games where it couldn't even set a monster, so they would pass and hope they didn't die. It was that bad for them because they had all the Dragon Rulers, all the Eclipse Wyverns, all the Judgment Dragons, Light Ray Diaboloses. They had so many boss monsters, but very little engine cards, and it really disrupted how that deck played and functioned, and it made it almost worthless. Very, very unfortunate. Number 3, you want to handle this one?
We put Tellarknights at number 3.
Yep.
Tellarknights were, it was, at least in my experience, it was, you would just summon a bunch of level 4s, you'd make Trevor, and then just do it all over again. But Tolmias was around at the time, so you'd use that too, and then do whatever.
Yeah, but trust, there's the thing. Tolmias was not made by Tellarknights. The issue with Tellarknights is when they first were released, which is when they seen their most success, it was literally hope you had Denab and hope you had Alpha. Then you had the chance to win with the rest of your traps. But what people failed to mention is that the deck was virtually nothing but trap cards, and the deck itself had no actual merit to it. So as soon as people realized, as soon as people realized, oh, I can play Burning Abyss, which can not only play traps better, but can float longer, and then Shadal's, which could float well longer than the traps they played, then that's when Tellarknights started falling out of the meta, and as soon as Cleafort played around, which could play traps better than it was completely out of the meta and was a roguish meta strategy. Number 2, we got Axis 4 Fire Fist of 2014. I almost wanted to put this at number 1 because this was a deck.
I did want to put it at number 1.
Yeah, he literally wanted it at number 1, but I thought the number 1 slot was better. Axis 4 Fire Fist was actual garbage. It had only a handful of +1 plays, and people were so overconfident in the deck, they failed to realize Mermail, Infernity, and Bujin were just far better than it, even though Fire Fist were seeing so much more play than they should have ever. Again, no merit of the deck. It's usually just trap cards.
I've never seen a turn ended so fast if something gets negated.
Yes. They could draw 20 cards off of Max C and it wouldn't matter. They'd set their traps and then normal summon.
And end their turn.
Yes. and they'd have to discard like 9 cards. That's how bad this deck was. They couldn't capitalize on any strategy that was different from how they played, and that's why that deck only made it by an ass hair. And
Yep.
number
Fire
one,
Fist Bear was the deck.
yeah, Fire Fist Bear was the deck, and if you even slightly hindered it, it was done. The deck was done.
Yep.
Number one, Psy-Frames. You want to know something interesting about a deck that doesn't do anything unless your opponent does something? It doesn't do anything. It's a deck entirely of hand traps that on its first release, people had no clue how to counter this deck. They were so used to just playing their ass that they didn't realize, oh, I can just normal summon something, not use its effect, and just keep attacking until you draw some kind of stupid card. That's when I can exploit you when you control monsters. That's how simple this deck is to beat. The only reason it even ever saw success is because people didn't realize that's how easy it is to beat yet.
Yep.
It's incredible.
However, the synchro monsters of Psy-Frames are fucking amazing.
Yes, they are. The Psy-Frame synchros are fantastic. Psy-Frames themselves, outside of Gamma nowadays, every other one just doesn't put in the work because it's too dependent on your opponent.
True.
So, yep, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you all enjoyed this list. Thank you all for watching. Special thanks to Uncaringmocha. And remember, Master Dinnerflax will take your soul.